There's Backwoods Billy, Delmarva Eastern Shore. We're going to have a beautiful Delmarva day. We're going to click, like, subscribe to Backwoods Billy Craft Beer Reviews. Comment. Tell me if you had this beer before. Very important. We're coming to you today about a lager. Heavy Seas beer. Heavy Seas Brewing out of Hellthorpe, Maryland. A Maryland beer. This was something I could do about, for the fall time, for Thanksgiving. This is an Oktoberfest lager, also known as a Marzen beer on the BJCP 6A style guideline. This is going to be a German heritage versus a 3C, which would be like your Czech style beer. Now, they're saying they're fiercely independent. Put the wind in your sails, back in your thing, Heavy Seas, blah, blah, blah. This is born near the harbor of Baltimore and raised in the great spirit of explorations. Heavy Seas has been independently brewed since 1995. We strive to craft beer that explores your sense of adventure. And you got the independent upside down bottle, if you know what that means. Basically, independent brewery. They can still have that and be associated with like AB InBev or Molson Coors, blah, blah, blah. But TreasureFest, the Oktoberfest, this is a Marzen style beer. I had this before. I've also had it recently, not only to buy a 6-pack, but I've also had it at the Hoppers in Salisbury at their beer festival. It's a Marzen style beer, 6% alcohol by volume. You're looking at basically 35 IBUs. Now, when you do this, you're looking at adding 2-row pale or 6-row pale malt. They're using 2. Munich malts to this and Vienna malts to this, Vienna lager malts. I believe they use Pearl, and I don't know their bittering hops. I'm offhand, Palisade, I think that's Palisade. It's basically going to have more of a pungent aromatics to it. Pearl should be slightly spicy. Chinook, which is going to be slightly citrus, more of your pine resinous notes. Cascade, which is named more for your citrus and grapefruit notes to it. And Hallertau, which is basically spicy notes to it. So that's what you got on there. And this is a really good brewing company. I remember Hugh Sissons of Sissons in Federal Hill. This is the very first craft beer company that Backwoods Billy had, was this. And from them, I moved to the Claws in Baltimore as well. And that's the second beer I had, then Blue Moon. But that aside, this is the first one. They used to have Sissons, and Sissons was just a little bar in Federal Hill, and you would go in there and they had the best wings you ever had. Sissons wings. Now they're starting to come back to their restaurants. And their parent company is Clipper City Brewing, which originally when the beer came out was called Clipper City because of the Clipper ship in Baltimore that was in the harbor. And they went with Heavy Seas, obviously did market research and blah, blah, blah. Heavy Seas is blown up and they're global. So Hugh Sissons got this right. He's got some really good beers. Peg Leg, Sire Noir, which I like a lot. What's the one, something Storm something, which is their extra special bitter. I can't think what it's called. Anyway, I love a lot of their beers. They even discontinued one I liked that was basically a sessionable IPA. But anyway, they got Loose Cannon, Double Cannon on their IPAs. Look at that cat. You get in here when they call it a crown in the UK. You look at a heavier raised area, thicker, basically plastic inside is going to seal, better cap. They got the logos. You're going to make crafts. I'll show you some people do crabs, anchors around here, all kind of different designs. I'll put them around the fire pit, or you can even put them in pour polyurethane, do plastic, put them under glass, whatever you want to do with them. They're kind of cool. You're a craft beer company, so these are solid company, these little solid color things. Use these as branding. People do save these. The label. I'm going to put something else in. I look at this beer, look at the cap, Heavy Seas logo. Heavy Seas logo. I know what it is when I see it. The only thing I would say different is I probably have my logo down here. But the idea is that Oktoberfest has a checker blue pattern.
Easily identifiable.
Brewed imported German malts. We talked about that. Basically, it's going to be dry hopped in their canvas sheet with thing. It's a bunch of American hops and thing, blah, 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 blah. So 6% ABV, TreasureFest. I'm going to pour it into my Snifter glass, which, by the way, you could use a mug if you wanted to. You could use a English-style pub glass, also known as a Nonic, and you could also use a pint glass, oversized wine glass. All these are acceptable glasses for serving this style of beer called a Marzen under the 6A BJCP style guideline. Now, we're looking at this. It's going to have a copper note to it, moving more towards amber in the color of it. looking at the lacing on here. I'm serving this basically at 69 degrees, which is not the recommended serving temperature, by the way. A little warmer, more of the aromatics and more of the tasting notes. Now, with the malt, as you move into a Munich malt and some of your caramel pills, you're going to have more of your caramel and toffee notes. You're going to, same with your Munich, we got your Vienna lager, it's going to keep more of your nutty notes and your caramel and toffee. And then we're going to look at the hops. Your Schnucks will be more pine resinous notes, light citrus or fruity. Your Cascades will be fruity notes, like grapefruit, citrus, and can have pine resinous notes. Your Palisades can be your bittering, very pungent aromatic hop. Your Hallertau hops is going to be more of your spicy hops, can have a slight floral note to it, so can the Cascade have floral notes to it. So when we look at the beer and we dissect the ingredients, we can know what to expect from the beer as well as knowing the beer style. With this, I should expect something to be on a more malty side, more malt forward, and the bittering is kept to keep the hops in, the malts in check with the hops. Caramel toffee, like you get like a burnt sugar note to this as well, like somebody burnt sugar thing. You get your hops. I'm getting slight fruity notes to this. I'm getting some pepper notes, which is spicy to this in my aromatics. And I am having a slight, on the finish, slightly bittering on the end instead of staying malt. I'm getting the slight bittering bite, which is closer to what the newer style, which is going to be more of a Helles or lighter lager, is going to be on the Marsden style beers. So this is going to come in that way. Now what we get with this is a very nice off-white khaki head that sticks to the glass. You get some beautiful lacing with this, some nice fisheye bubbles, very tightly packed, some decent carbonation in here, some mid-range of carbonation, medium on the body. Moving to a medium heavy. Very light notes of pine resinous notes in here, but they're there. You do get some of the fruity notes. With this is a lager. It's a backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up, 6% ABV, 35 IBUs on the Heavy Seas beer. This is a Baltimore beer, guys. You're looking for something to do this fall. This is definitely something for football. Definitely something I'd bring in for Thanksgiving. You have a Thanksgiving day, you want to pair this with your meal. You start out with this before the meal. You can bring it in to utilize with your turkey if you wish. I would definitely say that you could pair this with some, if you're serving some nuts, some cheeses that are like nice and fine, some cheddar cheese would work well with this, some Swiss cheese would work well with this, some spicy foods would work well with this, like we'll do barbecue chicken wings, spicy Thai, Chinese, all work well with this. I think this beer would hold up very well to fried chicken, chicken wings. This is a Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. This is one of my favorite breweries, guys. Independent. Notice the upside down bottle. It says fiercely independent. Although they can say independent and not be associated with the thing that AB InBev or Molson Coors. I do not believe that they are, but I could be wrong. They may be associated with AB InBev, but I don't think they are. It's a Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. Seek this beer out. If they don't have it, ask for it. Look at a liquor store or tap house or bar. The Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. Remember to click like and subscribe to Backwoods Billy Craft Beer Reviews. Click like, subscribe. Also remember to comment and have a beautiful, marvelous day.
TreasureFest, Oktoberfest.
TreasureFest, Oktoberfest Lager, which is a Marsden style beer from Heavy Seas Beer Company. Now, they have a thing on there with their link is. If you go to my description section, they don't have their link. I'm pretty sure it's heavyseasbeer.com. It says Clipper Steer Brewing Company, Limited Part LP, Baltimore, Maryland. It used to have the website, I think it says heavyseasbeer.com. I will put that in the description. Click to the link to it. It'll take you right to their thing. If you ever if you're in the area or come to Baltimore, definitely, or Annapolis or Baltimore City, tour the brewery. It's well worth your time.
It's very fun.
Excellent. What they give you tokens and you get a souvenir glass, a pint glass. It's like $5 a tour. My wife doesn't drink beer. I had 10 tokens every time I went. A lot of souvenir glasses from there, guys. Awesome time. You go there. Very educational tour. Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up on the beer. Happy Thanksgiving.